It's 8:34. It's the 31st day of August 2024. It's 72 degrees and spooky, cloudy, gloomy here at Site B. It's time for the Halloween countdown to begin. Because believe it or not, the doors to Halloween Horror Nights over at Universal opened last night. I know you're like, but it's August. Well, Universal decided to jump on the Halloween grenade sooner than anybody else. At this point, I'm not sure why they even stop HHN. But yeah, so that was in the back of my mind when I was looking for a story to talk about for the rest of Saturday. And I saw this. A Universal Fan Fest is coming up where one of the things will be a Dungeons and Dragons themed night or something similar, or as weirdly as a Universal Dungeons and Dragons themed night would be. Probably be a mostly medieval thing, and we'll just rename some food like Beholder Burgers, and maybe we'll try and get some D&D guys there. I don't know. So they're doing a Back to the Future Fan Fest, a Star Trek Fan Fest, and a Dungeons and Dragons Fan Fest. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever, big deal. That's fun. If I was there, I'd probably go. And then I went, wait a minute. Universal doesn't own Star Trek or Dungeons and Dragons. So how did this happen? Now Dungeons and Dragons, I guess I could see a handshake between Hasbro and Universal. They've probably worked together before. Maybe has Hasbro done any toys based upon Universal franchises? Probably Ghostbusters at least, right? But this one, I was like, wait a minute, Universal and Paramount, but they're literally opposite. Why would Paramount let Universal do a Star Trek themed night? Why wouldn't they just do a Star Trek themed fan fest on their lot? They have a lot. They don't have a backstage tour as cool as Universal's, but they still have a lot. They still have a tour. They still have a Paramount place. They're all relatively close to each other and out there in Hollywood. I used to be able to walk to Universal when I was living in Studio City on a regular basis. And we would never, ever, ever sneak in. Never. We never did that because I would have been wrong. So at first I'm like, oh, well, whatever. But I'm like, wait, we know Star Trek isn't doing very well for Paramount. We definitely know in regards to the different production companies that have tried to do Dungeons and Dragons, they have done abysmally, including Paramount, who was hemming and hawing about possibly doing a D&D show, and then they said no. So is this sort of a roundabout, backwards way of Universal saying, oh, by the way, we're going to buy Star Trek and the digital D&D? They couldn't do a worse job with Star Trek and D&D, so who knows? Also, this is just further proof of the digitization, brandedization of D&D. D&D is not a game for Hasbro. It is a entertainment lifestyle brand. So doing a D&D night at Universal is a good thing and a bad thing because it just further proves what Hasbro's intent for it, that is. What does this anything have to do with Horror Nights? Nothing at all. It's what it's how my brain works, guys. All right, so moving on to actual Halloween Horror Nights. Halloween Horror Nights went live last night in Florida, and then I believe it's going live tonight or next week here in California, so depending upon where you live. Super Enthused Jackie did a complete walkthrough on her channel last night, so if you want to see a complete walkthrough of all 10 houses, I have a link down below. I thought we would, take a look at the catalog of houses that Jackie got to go through, and then the catalog of houses we'll get to go through. So here is the Universal Orlando site. These are all the houses that are live in Universal Orlando as of last night. We have A Quiet Place based upon the Quiet Place franchise. So a house where you can't make noise, and there is no noise, or there's very little noise, or only the bad guys make noise. I don't know how it works. I've heard that this was actually, in some ways, a really amazing house, and in other ways, unbelievably disappointing. As usual with the haunted houses at HHN. I am not a big HHN fan. Actually, in ratings for parks, it actually doesn't rate very high. because I think far too many of the mazes just rely on jump scares and gore. But this sounded quick. This sounded interesting. I mean, how do you build a haunt around the concept of no noise? So I'm interested in finding out more about this. They're also getting the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire house, which feels like why. But the original Ghostbusters house, when they did that, was one of the best. Everybody loved it. It was just such a great house. It wasn't, it was more like it was goofy because it was Ghostbusters. There were a few jump scares, but yeah. And the giant scene, I mean, it was a great house. So Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, hopefully, it does as good as the original Ghostbusters house. I don't know. Frozen Empire wasn't all that, but whatever. Insidious. I don't know, man. Jump scares, gore, dark rooms. Doesn't really feel like that. A Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines dedicated to all the female monsters in the history of the Universal Monsters. So basically, it's Bride of Frankenstein, I guess, and Dracula's daughters. Remember Dracula's daughters and Mina von Helsing or Saska. I don't know. This sounds like really stretching it. Let's do a female empowerment haunt based upon all our female monsters because we have so many. You have one. You have one classic, iconic female monster, the Bride. We need more classic, iconic female monsters. Then we've got Monstersaurus, the monsters of Latin America. This is all based upon Latin American mythology, Latin American cryptid. The last time they did this one, the one that was themed about the baby-eating monster, La Luena, was amazing. Universal's, money is obviously making houses based upon their IPs, but when they make the original houses are usually better. This one was amazing. Slaughter Cinema 2, which is basically where you step into an old drive-in movie, and it's like 3 or 4 rooms, each built around a drive-in movie theme, like slasher, cowboy, whatever. This one was really fun last time they did it. We've got the a museum themed museum themed haunt sounds fun. We've got a candy themed haunt. Where we have candy, it just seems like jump scares and dumb. We've got a goblin themed haunt. Again, just fantasy themed jump scares. And then of course you've got the trials, and you've got the terror tram, and then you've got evil cannibal triplets of terror. Jump scares and gore. This one doesn't really excite me. This one sounds stupid. This one could be fun. This one was fun last time they did it. This one was amazing last time we did it. This one just reminds you that we don't have enough female monsters. This one sounds dumb. This one's maze. Might be good, might be bad. This one I'm extremely curious about. Now moving over to us here in California. What are we going to get? I have been to Halloween Horror Nights in California several times. It was very easy since I lived there. I would say that over the years, the quality of the haunts have obviously gotten better, but the quality of the houses have also gotten worse. Sometimes a lot of the houses just feel lazy. So we've got the Terror Tram. This one's going to be inspired by Blumhouse horror. So you go down to the parking lot. They have characters and a walkthrough based upon the various characters from Blumhouse, including Megan. Whatever. We're getting the Quiet Place one. Again, extremely curious. The Ghostbusters one. I mean, it could be good. It could suck. The Insidious one. It just sounds. They're giving The Weeknd another one. The Weeknd had a haunt last time, and it was just dumb. Just jump scares and people dressed up like The Weeknd. So they're giving him another one. Okay, dude. Texas Chainsaw Massacre themed haunt because there's one that we haven't done 1,000 times before. Oh God, chainsaws, cannibals. Yeah, overdone. They're doing the female monsters one, which again just makes me go, we don't have enough female monsters. We need some more good quality female monsters. If you want to do a female empowerment, give us a new female monster. We've got Monsterosaurus 2, the Nightmares of Latin America. That was great. We've got a Death Valley nuclear zombie one. And then we've got the walkthroughs. This one, I mean, zombies. I heard the sets for this were really good. This one looks amazing. The last one that they did was amazing. This one, nah. Like if I was gonna go, I'd just do the Quiet Place one. I'd do this one, and maybe this one, and maybe this one, but I'd avoid like this one, and I'd avoid this one, and I'd probably avoid that one. And then of course the tram. But the tram is just Bloomhouse. So you go down, they'll go past the Psycho House. Norman will jump out at you. There'll be some photo opportunities. There'll be the characters from the various Bloomhouse haunts. Some jump scares. I don't know. I think Knox is still better. But anyways, why did I do this? Because I was looking for a story, and I saw the thing about Universal doing the D&D Fan Fest, and then I was like, wait a minute, Universal doesn't own those. Does this mean Universal's doing them? That would be weird. But I mean, it's not like Universal could do a worse job with D&D and Star Trek than Paramount has. So I mean, they could, but you'd actually have to actively try and do a worse job than Paramount did with how they handled the D&D documentary TV show and the D&D movie, and how they're handling Star Trek lately. I mean, Brave New Worlds is okay. It had some good episodes. It had some bad episodes. And Lower Deck is the best Star Trek thing that Paramount's making. You're like, guys, maybe you should just leave it alone for a while. Anyways, it was just something fun to look at for Saturday, just to get us in the mood for the spookiness. When Knox opens up, we'll probably do that one too. If you want to see Jackie's walkthrough, I put a link down below. So there you go. Till next time, I'm the OGGM. Have a great Saturday. I'll see you later.